At the start everyone's saying kill him, but he is wondering how did it come to this and how he got caught, and all of the sudden someone says, a divine punishment to the human who intruded on our land. The orc goes on by saying, for 1,000 years no one from the outside world has stepped in this beastmen land. Expect this lowly human, and he says this means war and says bring down the divine punishment. But this guy was wondering, he was just in a cave a minute ago, while everyone is shouting divine punishment, but the guy thinks if he is going to die in this strange world. 5 hours before, someone says Tsuyoshi to finish eating as soon as possible because there are 2 cleaning teams are working besides them, so it will hard to get a metal scraps. Afterwards Tsuyoshi says this is only a C rank cave, why would there be many cleaning teams? To that he says it's not like we are heroes but rather a cleaner. While they were talking someone says, the heroes are coming. After hearing that both of them hurried to the portal, while walking someone from their group says C rank portal itself gives chills to their spines and goes on by saying then a rank portal and S rank will be more dangerous. After reaching the portal they realizes there are less amount of darklings are there, and someone comes out of the portal, and says they got some good loot out of luck, and the cleaning people says they are doing this job because they failed in the awakening test. Otherwise they would have made lots of money by being an hero. Afterwards the cleaner thanked the heroes for the hard work and asks if they can go inside, but the hero says with an arrogant attitude you go ahead. Afterwards Tsuyoshi says the cleaners like themselves go on the search for loot, after the heroes came outside clearing every darklings inside, and the cleaners are commonly known as the trash collectors, and completely unrelated to the heroes. After failed to be a hero in their awakening test, everyone will end up as the trash collectors. After coming inside the leader tells everyone to gather up in place after collecting the loot, and while searching someone finds a fragment of a shield, and realizes they might find something good in this cave. Afterwards Tsuyoshi says he is gonna search for loot by going more deeper into the cave, and his friend says to meet up in next 3.5 hours, and he goes in, 3.5 hours later. Tsuyoshi is digging the ground and wondering he haven't got anything except that shield fragment, and one of his friends says it's time to meet up, but Tsuyoshi wondering he needs to find something otherwise he will not be able to cover the expenses of his sister's medical fees. Afterwards Tsuyoshi finds a well and thinks to himself, if he finds something that is not damaged he would be able to cover a week's medical expenses. Inside he sees a ring. Afterwards Tsuyoshi gets inside the well and takes the ring. He was really happy that he found a rare item, and he says this type of rings will have some extra boost, so they sell for higher price. Afterwards Tsuyoshi decides to wear the ring for now just to make sure this ring doesn't get lost again, and all of the sudden the ring started glowing and gets fit with his skin, which created a pain to Tsuyoshi. Afterwards a voice just started saying the boundless ring has chosen its owner and the boundless passage will open soon, but Tsuyoshi was shocked and wondering what was that sound, and then a portal appears through the ring. While shouting for help Tsuyoshi was sucked into that portal, but some of his friends hears his voice and decides to wait for his return from that well, since they still got some time, but for Tsuyoshi he was being sucked into the portal, and when he regained consciousness, Tsuyoshi was captured by the orc as a criminal to receive a divine punishment. Lightning strikes that falls on the altar is known as divine punishment. Afterwards Tsuyoshi realizes he was sent to the beast folk land. Afterwards the beast king says to begin the divine punishment. Afterwards a general orc started shouting they are going to kill 3 criminals, and goes on by saying the first one which betrayed their own kind by leaking the information about their secrets to elves and humans. Afterwards every other orc started shouting divine punishment. After pushing that orc into that altar, a huge lightning strikes that orc to death, and the general orc says next criminal shall be the human who intruded in our beast folk land. While bringing Tsuyoshi he started saying, he is not a human from here, and goes on by saying and have a sister who is waiting for his return, but the orc just didn't even listen to him. Afterwards Tsuyoshi was crying while saying he can't die yet since he still have a dream to become a hero. But the other orcs started saying a mere human should get perished by the divine punishment. And the orcs throw Tsuyoshi in the altar, but Tsuyoshi was determined not to die, so when the lightning strikes he dodges it, but every other orcs are shocked and realizes that he dodged the divine lighting, and a girl from there is also shocked. Afterwards the general orc says there is no way he dodged divine punishment, but the Beast King was just looking silently. Tsuyoshi shouts he can't die yet. All of a sudden another lighting has struck Tsuyoshi. General Orc then says lighting strike do not only comes once. While other orcs saying divine punishment, the girl from there says waste of struggle, but Tsuyoshi was burnt black and he was thinking he can't die yet, after hearing that the ring glows, and all of a sudden it says activating divine system building the ultimate physique. Afterwards Tsuyoshi then started glowing gold, but the Beast King notices it, but another lighting strikes Tsuyoshi. General Orc realizes he is still alive, and another lighting strikes, but this didn't do that much damage. The ring says perfect physique completed 15%. Other orcs are shocked. Another lighting strikes, but it didn't do anything. 40% has been completed. After that the ring says it's inputting divine eye skill, and Tsuyoshi realizes something is calling him and starts to walk near a huge hammer, and the ultimate physique was completed 60% and he gets more 2 skills. Other orcs are just silently watching. The general orc says other than a Beast King no one has ever gotten that close to the hammer of the Divine King. Beast King says with a happy expression if Tsuyoshi is trying to lift the hammer of Divine King. Afterwards Tsuyoshi grabs the hammer by saying are you calling for me? The hammer moves little, but Tsuyoshi says why did you call me while a lighting is striking him. Afterwards 100% of physique completed and he gets a status called Chosen One. Tsuyoshi lifts the hammer. Other orcs are shocked. He then grabs the hammer in his hands. The girl that was standing there was shocked and thinks human lifting a hammer. The general orc was shocked and thinks whoever lifts the divine hammer by default they will become the Beast King. But Tsuyoshi realizes he was little stronger than before and sees he got a status bar, and he realizes he reached to level 3. While he was looking at the status bar something jumps behind him, which was General Orc, and says don't you dare touch the divine hammer with your filthy hands, and other orc says to kill the human to the General Orc. Afterwards the General Orc says he will punish Tsuyoshi by himself because he escaped the divine punishment by using some tricks, and he says to return the hammer and tell Tsuyoshi to receive the punishment. Afterwards Tsuyoshi uses his divine eye skill, and he sees the General Orc's name, title, occupation, level. Tsuyoshi realizes he can see everything about opponent by using divine punishment. Afterwards the General Orc points his sword at Tsuyoshi while saying I'll accept your challenge, but Tsuyoshi says it is a misunderstanding, and fears he can't fight a 84 level warrior, but the orc swings his huge sword at Tsuyoshi. The girl standing there thinks to herself, he can't handle the General Orc and will be defeated since he is one of the 5 great generals which works under Beast King. A huge explosion in the altar. Tsuyoshi blocks the orc's attack with the hammer. Afterwards he realizes he blocked it using this hammer, but because of that his hands have gone numb. The General Orc realizes he blocked his quick slash and withstand the shock wave. Afterwards the orc says he was saved by the hammer and luck. Next time it won't happen like that, but Tsuyoshi says it was a misunderstanding. He is not from this world and wants to go back. But the orc swings his hand while saying there is nothing to hear, and grabs Tsuyoshi and thinks to himself he will kill him at the sky by using the skill Earthquake. The orc throws Tsuyoshi, but all of a sudden a pop-up comes which says with the sense of the opponent's heart he can replicate any type of skills which the opponent has. After seeing that Tsuyoshi comes to the conclusion, by touching opponent's heart he will be able to recreate any skill, and he touches the opponent's nipple. The orc was feeling it. But to Tsuyoshi he got a lots of pop-ups. Tsuyoshi realizes he have to choose one skill out of them, but the orc says you dare do that to me now you will pay, and uses his earthquake skill. But Tsuyoshi also chooses the same skill, and uses the heaven shakes by saying he can't die yet. but the orc was shocked since Tsuyoshi used one of his skill. It was a direct hit. Everyone is shocked, but the general orc received no damage. Afterwards Tsuyoshi realizes he can't replicate the damage of the skill since he is only level 3, and he was disappointedly standing there. Afterwards the general orc takes his sword and charges into Tsuyoshi by saying how dare he humiliate him, but all of the sudden the Beast King jumps in, but all other orcs are afraid and says the Beast King is taking action. Another huge explosion happens. Tsuyoshi was just standing there, and the Beast King was kneeled down, but this shocked every other orcs and the girl was also shocked. And he says you have been chosen by the divine hammer, and says this is a sign from the gods, and he goes on by saying, for the last 1,000 years the one that was chosen by the hammer was Tsuyoshi. Afterwards the Beast King shouts he was chosen by the divine hammer, but after hearing that every other orcs were disappointed, and the Beast King goes on by saying if he is truly the chosen one, we should give him some time to grow, but this shocked Tsuyoshi, and every other orc started discussing to themselves. Afterwards the general orc says he is a human to the Beast King, but the Beast King says so what, the prophecy didn't said the leader must be a beast folk, but the general orc says he is not a beast folk, then how he would be a leader. Afterwards Beast King asks Tsuyoshi name, to which he says as Tsuyoshi Tsukijo. And the Beast King says if you are willing to be our leader I will let you go, and says since he is so weak he will receive a 1-year time to become strong. And the Beast King says if Tsuyoshi didn't return in a year he will hunt him down with the tracking magic, and asks what is his answer. All of the sudden other orcs shouts to accept it, and the girl says to gain his freedom and to become strong. Tsuyoshi realizes she was supposed to be punished after him and uses the divine eye and sees her status, and he was shocked since she was 72 level, and realized she was marked as criminal. Afterwards Tsuyoshi decides to accept the challenge and decides to get stronger, but he says he wants that girl to come with him since she will be useful for him, and she was shocked. While standing outside Tsuyoshi realizes everything started because of this boundless ring. While he was thinking about how can he go back to his own world, someone calls Tsuyoshi master. To his surprise it was that girl, and she says she is gonna serve him, but Tsuyoshi was happy to be called master. Afterwards Tsuyoshi says let's help each other. After hearing that she says it means a lot to her, since he gave a second life to her. Afterward, she grabs his hands and asks to let her call him as a master. And she goes on by saying she wants to dedicate herself to him since he saved her. But Tsuyoshi says then call me whatever you want while blushing. Afterwards she says let's leave, since it's got too late. But after hearing that Tsuyoshi was wondering what a wonderful other world, afterwards he realizes his sister Karina is waiting for him in the original world. But all of the sudden he received a pop-up which says Boundless Passage, which has a cooldown for 24 hours, and Tsuyoshi realizes he came to this world with the same skill Boundless Passage, and uses the skill Boundless Passage, which creates the same portal which sucks him inside. Afterwards the cat girl was calling Master. All of the sudden Tsuyoshi wakes up in the exact same well, and realizes he was back, and was happy to find the abilities he gained hasn't been erased, and he sees the divine hammer in his inventory, and he realizes any item can be bought with him if he puts that in the inventory. Afterwards his friends looks inside the well by saying what happened, but Tsuyoshi says why are they still here since he was gone for many hours, and he realizes he must have at least spent 5 hours in the other world. And his friend says wait till we rescue you. While coming up Tsuyoshi realizes the time has been frozen while he was away, and he thinks maybe the other world also have its time frozen. Afterwards Tsuyoshi asks his friend about the awakening test. Afterwards on a rainy day, Tsuyoshi was carrying a girl in his back, and starts to run, but in behind there is a huge darkling destroying the town. And all of the sudden the girl says she can't feel her legs, and asks if dad and mom are okay, But Tsuyoshi was running while crying, and someone grabs him from behind and says, "Don't stop running, if you do then you will die." But Tsuyoshi shouts, "Uncle, what happened to Dad and Mom?" But the uncle says, "You can't defeat the darkness, so keep on running." While they are speaking, an explosion came. At present Karina says, if he is ready to take the awakening test, but the nurse tells Karina to take rest. Afterwards Tsuyoshi asks if her leg is fine, but she says she still feels the pain in her legs, even though she can't stand, and Tsuyoshi realizes she is suffering too much. Afterwards he used his divine eyes skill on Karina to find out there is only 1% chance for her to walk again, and he thinks if her legs was fine she would have been living a normal life, but she is the only family he has, so he says he will make her walk again. And he realizes if he become a hero he can access more information on making her walk. Afterwards he raised his hands by thinking he will become the strongest hero. At the awakening test area, someone who came before Tsuyoshi was selected as a C-rank hero. Afterwards it was Tsuyoshi time to check, but the representative was annoyed that Tsuyoshi was coming to check for the awakening test even though he failed many times, but Tsuyoshi was confident about this time. But the representative says there are many stubborn people like Tsuyoshi comes but everyone fails. Afterwards Tsuyoshi enters the room and he thinks he should take this test seriously, and activates his ultimate physique skill, and the machine started recording his power level, but the whole building started shaking, and the measurements results was his combat power is 5,400, and he was placed as the number 1 in the level 3 heroes, and the second rank hero combat power is only 930. After seeing that, Tsuyoshi was shocked since he was 10 times stronger than the rank 2, but afterwards he decides to use the divine hammer strength, but a pop-up comes and says at the current level Tsuyoshi can only unleash the hammer power for 1 second, and he decides to give a shot and releases the power of Divine King's hammer. And the hammer starts to glow. When he was about to check the power level, the whole sky was full of thunder and earthquake, but the measuring machine shuts down. Afterwards the whole city goes blackout, and the representative opens the door by saying the exams has been suspended because of the blackout, but to his surprise Tsuyoshi was standing there like a very different person, but he was chosen as a hero and was happy about it. After a while at the training grounds, a guy named Gaia who is their instructor, and he says the training will be tough, but Tsuyoshi thinks to himself how much combat power he will have when he reaches level 9. Afterwards the instructor tells them they will be going in the D-rank dungeon and choose their occupation while fighting, but after hearing that the trainees are shocked and asks the instructor about doing a normal physical training before going in the dungeon while trembling. Afterwards with an annoyed face the instructor says they will be honing their skills on unreal combat, but Tsuyoshi realizes the instructor is just venting his anger on them, and he goes on by thinking he's still got a cat girl waiting for him who is far more powerful than the instructor here. After a while at Tsuyoshi's apartment, he realizes the cooldown for the divine passage is over and decides to use it. At the another world, it was a night time, and he is thinking he came back here, and he realizes his clothes has been reverted back. And she asks is something matter. Afterwards Tsuyoshi says he wants to level up, so he asked her to lead the way, but this made her happy since he is relying on her, and she says there is a level 3 goblin's nest nearby and asks if it's okay for Tsuyoshi to practice there. Afterwards she says even though the goblins are level 3 they are violent, lecherous and numerous, and tells Tsuyoshi to be careful. But Tsuyoshi thinks if they are lecherous she is the one that needs to be careful. Afterwards, Tsuyoshi decides to go there and hunt some goblins. After reaching, Tsuyoshi says her level is 72 and her combat level is too high. But after hearing that she asks blushingly, "How do you know my level?" To that Tsuyoshi says he is not her master for nothing. Afterwards Tsuyoshi asked her to fight first, and she accepts it. and goes in with a dashing speed, and strikes down a goblin. After seeing that, Tsuyoshi was clapping his hands and tells to her it was awesome. After that, she says he is so kind and she will always give her full power on everything he says, and Tsuyoshi asks her to teach him the same technique, but she says it will be tough to learn, since he haven't even choose his occupation. After that, Tsuyoshi says he will choose to be warrior since she is also a warrior, but this made her blush and she tells to Tsuyoshi, I will be more useful since you choose warrior occupation. Afterwards she grabs his hands and says let's first gather some materials for the warrior. Tsuyoshi thinks to himself what a kind world. While he was thinking, 3 goblins comes to attack them, but Tsuyoshi asks her to borrow her dagger since he wants to try something on the goblins, but she nervously says facing the same level of enemy will be a little risky, but Tsuyoshi still charged in by saying he wants to try his new skill. Tsuyoshi jumps and uses his skill Heaven Shaker, which obliterates the goblins. After seeing, she was shocked and thinks to herself 3 goblins got killed in an instant, but Tsuyoshi thinks it's so easy and realizes he can reach to level 4 in just one night. Afterwards Tsuyoshi gives back her dagger and decides to take the weapon from the goblins, but she tells Tsuyoshi to gather some equipment since his current equipment offers 0 protection. After hearing, he realizes the dress he is wearing doesn't give any protection at all. Afterwards Tsuyoshi realizes anything he puts in the divine inventory can be used in both of the world, and for now he only has 2 slots, and if his level goes up there will be another slot releases. Afterwards he realizes he needs more slots to store armor and everything, and takes a look at her and realizes everything needs its own inventory space, but he goes on by thinking beast girls are irresistible and thinks about how would the other races will look like, but all of the sudden she says him to look behind, which happens to be level 4 goblins which can speak. Afterwards she says she will defeat them since they are stronger than him, but in an instant Tsuyoshi gets in front of her by telling not to interfere otherwise he won't be able to level up, and swings his bat and goes on by smashing the goblins in its head and kills all the goblins, and the weapon was broken, and she was thinking to herself Master is so powerful since he defeat monsters which are more powerful than him. Afterwards both of them went in and continuously defeats many monsters, and he still needs some more experience level to reach next level. She just became a cheerleader. While killing the last one, Tsuyoshi realizes, in the original world heroes used to complain about the experience that they get since they have to enter the dungeon only as a team, and if they don't enter dungeon again and again leveling up will only be a dream, but rather in this world he can get all the experiences and they give more experience than the original world, and says it's amazing. Now Tsuyoshi only need 1,000 more experience to reach next level, and both of them lying on a rock while he was thinking maybe he should rush to the boss room. Afterwards some powerful monster came walking. Tsuyoshi notices it and feels little pressured, and sees a huge goblin-like figure walking, but she says the boss monster has been possessed by a darklings, and he realizes there are darklings in this world too and goes on by thinking the one that killed his father and mother looks the same, but she says the entities that has been possessed by the darklings will become much stronger, and she goes on by saying even the people in this world doesn't know its true identity, and tell him that she will defeat this one. But Tsuyoshi rejects that and says he will defeat the darklings that lurk around. Afterwards he jumps in and uses his skill Heaven Shaker. With full force he attacked the boss, but this damaged the goblin boss only a little bit. Afterwards Tsuyoshi was thrown and was passed out. Afterwards the goblin boss used its tongue, but after seeing that she tried to save him, but all of a sudden he wakes up by saying the killer of my father and mother, are you trying to kill me too? And he goes on by activating his skill Physique Enchantment in his right arm, and goes on by punching the goblin boss by saying he will become the weapon itself, but after getting hit the goblin boss has been defeated. Afterwards he got 1,000 experience for killing the boss and leveled up. Afterwards she sees his right hand has been injured. Afterwards he passed down, and before he falls she catches him, but Tsuyoshi says his hands hurts. Afterwards she says she has many healing potion, and after an hour he wakes up by saying he feels better, and was amazed by the healing techniques in this world, and she was happy that the medicine worked on him. Afterwards she tells him to collect the treasure that must have dropped, and both of them finds the treasure chests, which was a darkness treasure chests, which is an rare chest and will have good loot inside. After seeing that, Tsuyoshi was happy and taking a good look on the chest, and he opens the chest and received the dark goblin set. Afterwards he closed the treasure chest and starts to think that he only have one slot left in his inventory, and was wondering whether if he should accept the treasure, but he accepts it anyway. While accepting, Tsuyoshi was wondering whether it will fit in his inventory, but for his surprise it fits. But she asked why is he smiling like that. Tsuyoshi says he was looking at the reward. Afterwards Tsuyoshi asks her if she can sew his dress, to which she says she can. At a mountain area, both of them sitting, she then shows the dress that she sewed. Afterwards he wore it happily. Afterwards Tsuyoshi decides to go back since he leveled up and geared up, and asks her let's sleep. Now at the original world he teleports to his room and lies in his bed. In the other world both of them slept in town. Afterwards he decides to go to the cave at tomorrow while sleeping. Next day Tsuyoshi decides to wear the goblin set, and clicks yes. After wearing it he thinks if other heroes sees him wearing this it will be trouble. While searching around in the pop-up, he sees there is an option that can hide his equipment, and his dress disappeared. Afterwards he decides to get some bread. Since he still got some time, the phone rings, and it was the nurse from the hospital, and she says some people wants to take Karina away since Tsuyoshi owns some money to them. But Tsuyoshi did take loan from him, but he has been paying it back correctly. Afterwards Tsuyoshi tells the nurse to not let him touch her. After hearing that, Tsuyoshi was angry and breaks the phone. In the hospital, Karina was shouting please wait for my brother and tells them to not touch her. Afterwards the contactor says the reason they're trying to take her away is because her brother didn't pay the money within the time. Afterwards he says the reason they gave him loan because his sister is so beautiful, so she will fetch some good money on the market. And he goes on by saying whatever he does to her no one stop it. Afterwards Karina says her brother will not sign in a contract, and she says they are trying to cheat. Afterwards he says her brother payments barely cover the interest. Afterwards he grabs her and tells her to come with him silently. With a smile he says even if she refuses she can't escape. While he was doing that, Tsuyoshi breaks the door, and says brace yourselves to them. After coming in, his sister calls him. After that the bill collector says finally you came, and tells him to not get angry since that's what they already agreed. But all of a sudden Tsuyoshi punches the bill collector, which made him fly away. Afterwards a huge guy rushes in to punch Tsuyoshi, and both of them punches at the same time, which made that bald guy's hand twist and was broken. Afterwards the bill collector says nobody ever defied him. Afterwards he took a gun and shoots Tsuyoshi, but this made Karina shocked, but to everyone's surprise, Tsuyoshi catches the bullet by his hands, and Karina was shocked, and the bill collector and their group was also shocked. And then Tsuyoshi says he is a hero now, after hearing that they are really scared. But meanwhile the nurse brings a police, but to their surprise, the bill collector and their group leaves the place by saying sorry for interrupting, and they tells the nurse they will be leaving.